What's up, Nitwits? It's Down99, aka Slippery Pickle, and with me as always...
Game over Joey.
Alright guys, nice, easy, quick topic today. Why does God hate us?
You tell me. I still don't understand why.
We talked about this year and possible game delays and things that are going to happen this year in the gaming world. And it's been rough so far.
Rough? Is that all you're going to say, rough? That's how you're explaining this, is rough.
It's rough.
We're in a pandemic. We need games to play. So let me just start off with a list of games that got delayed that I know everybody wanted to play, okay? New World, delayed. Back 4 Blood, the most anticipated game of everybody listening to this podcast, all 16 of you. Delayed. Do you hear that? Back 4 Blood. I took a vacation, a 2-week vacation for that game. Oh, let me repeat that one time. 2 weeks. And if the developers are listening, I hope they're happy. Following that delay, Halo Infinite, Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, Deathloop, Hogwarts Legacy. Morons. Okay? What morons? I swear. Oh, man, it makes me so mad. Cyberpunk 2077, the free DLC that was supposed to come out. Now, I know a lot of people have some gripe with the game, but I think it's a wonderful game, especially on PC. The Lord of the Rings Gollum. Delayed. Do you get the message? Delayed. Last but not least, Gran Turismo 7. Nobody cares about the game, but it still got delayed.
You're forgetting about Gotham Knights.
Fucking delayed. And oh my god, why did you add that, dude?
So we're 4 months into the year, and
I need to turn my fan on. It's getting hot in here.
Every anticipated game that we mentioned, basically, on one of our previous videos, has been delayed. Almost every single one. Outriders, your only hope right now. You're already out. You're great. Keep it up.
Yeah, so Outriders is... I actually like Outriders, but I also like very grindy games. But it's not going to hold me over until Back 4 Blood, okay?
Hey, It's okay, man. We have World War Z to play.
Yeah, World War Z, fun game. Back 4 Blood, better.
I mean, it's been a rough 4 months in the video game world for the big features coming. But hey, we gotta hang in there.
But you know who I can rely on? Xbox. Psych! Halo Infinite was delayed.
Oh no.
And what's going to happen? All these great announcements around Bethesda dropping their games this year, they're all going to be delayed, okay? I called it. Delayed.
Our buddy Kratos, I believe he's delayed too.
Yeah, delayed. Stupid Jim Ryan. I'm so aggravated. So aggravated. Like here's the thing that frustrates me too, is you show gameplay like Hogwarts Legacy, Gotham Knights, solid gameplay, right? It looked wonderful. Now now you start to think, was that real gameplay, or was that literally a high-end PC running a pre-rendered trailer? Because they say it was gameplay, but I don't know if it's true now. I just don't know what to believe because it looks so polished.
Oh, the games we saw were definitely ready. I mean, a lot of the clips we've seen, a lot of everything looked ready.
I know that's what's frustrating about the whole situation. It's and then another one, New World. New World does drop this year. It drops August 31st. It's a new MMO. Super excited for. But it was supposed to come out in April. Delayed. Pushed it to June. Delayed. Pushed it to August. Guess what, Amazon Studios? I bet you delay that till 2022. You might as well join the trend. Do you really think Halo Infinite is going to come out in fall 2021?
No.
See, I do, but you might be right on this one, Dom, because everything gets delayed. Stupid, I swear. Little Toe Rock Studios, if Back 4 Blood doesn't come October 12th, I'm not buying your game. better come out. I've already purchased it twice. I guess I am stuck with it. And I got the collector's edition, like a dummy.
Hey, when's Diablo 2 come back?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
See? There's hope. We just have to go to old reliables in our lives to pull up the video game hope.
It doesn't say, it just says this year. So, actually, you know what? You brought up a great point that we can kind of talk about. That all these delays. But let's talk about all these remakes and remasters that are coming out. And do we think they're necessities, right?
Oh my god. Okay.
So I know I just randomly thought about that just because you brought up Diablo 2. So what are your thoughts on I guess these games being remastered or remake depending on whatever they're going to release it as, right? Because I know there's a difference. What are your thoughts on games coming out like the Diablo 2, obviously Mass Effect Legacy Collection? Saints Row had a remastered. I mean, they do it all the time, right? Halo, Master Chief Collection. Do you think that's good? And do you go back and enjoy those games, or do you think when they remake them, there's a special element taken away from them that they don't really feel the same they did the original time you played them? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I have a love-hate relationship with this because I feel time has to pass. Like the wound has to heal. The love for my game. Like Mass Effect, as everyone knows, is arguably a top 3 game of all time for me. That franchise is probably my favorite franchise. I mean, I would fight between that and Red Dead as my favorite franchises. But Mass Effect will always hold a special place in my heart. And I just seeing it come back now. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been Shepard. I'm so excited. So I feel like it's an appropriate time. I have problems with Diablo 2. That's perfect timing. It's been 20 years. That's a good time to get remastered, to bring it back. Yeah. I hate when games go 3 years or something, or this is a little change that we made, like Last of Us. We don't need a remake of Last of Us. Okay. Last of Us is not that old.
Yeah, and that's what one I was going to bring up. So, Last of Us, the fact that we already got a remastered of Last of Us, the first game, and then that they're going to remaster it again for PlayStation 5 to have, updated graphics, I don't think this is the best move, especially for Sony in their current state. And I know we're going to get into more detail on this specific subject coming up here soon, but I don't think it's a good move. And I agree with you. Kind of like the Uncharted series. I don't necessarily think those needed a remake. And maybe the first 1 or 2 could get a full revision, remaster, but the last couple don't need it. The game still looks pretty good.
Now, I don't have a problem with game wins Game of the Year and you come out with Game of the Year edition. I think you earn that right. You should be able to come out with that. I don't have a problem with that.
But Game of the Year edition usually is not enhanced or upgraded. It just comes with all the DLC.
I think a lot of people that would be it's a little different. You know what I mean? We're talking about completely revamping everything. I think I was really excited for Anthem 2.0 before they canceled it. And that's a remake or revamp I'm okay with because the first version was not what we were supposed to get.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, we've talked about before on this podcast here. Things that we've talked about. Games that they go back and they do that, I think that's different than, it's been 3 years. Let's pump out another couple million here by throwing the same game out there.
Yeah, so, No Man's Sky, I obviously, I think I talked about this before. I bought the collector's edition when it first launched. Mm-hmm. And I was so pissed off when it launched that game because everything that the studio had said was a lie. And it was frustrating because the idea sounded great on paper, but I think it's really the consumer's fault too, though. Thinking a game could be executed like that because it sounded too good to be true, and typically when that's the case, it is, right? Yeah, they need to remake that game. So back to the drawing board. So yeah, I do agree with you that No Man's Sky needed it really bad, and when they did redo it with the huge update that came out, the game is amazing now.
And a lot of games like Facebook groups or podcasts I listen to and stuff, No Man's Sky still has a very solid fan base, which I was really shocked about.
Solid, massive.
I'm really, really impressed.
It's funny because I actually know a lot of people. Well, not a lot, maybe like 4 or 5. I mean, that's a handful of people that are still playing No Man's Sky. And they still have a steady player chart on Steam, total players, playing the game. So there's a huge fan base for it now. The building is great. The world is very active. So meaning the creatures, the mining. Overall, it is a lot better of a game now. I actually own it on PC too, and I got it on sale during the Steam Summer Sale, and I started playing it some. Is it for me? I'll be honest, no. But would I launch that in like creative mode or play with friends just to explore the universe? Yeah, absolutely, it's beautiful. It is really cool, and it's really cool to see that they actually took the time to fix it. But I honestly, think they didn't have a choice. If I'm not mistaken, there was lawsuits out against them, and a whole bunch of things were going on with them as a developer. But yeah, that is definitely needed, and I agree with you. Marvel, the Avengers game, definitely needs it. That game is so depressing. Now, I did beat it. The story, I know I mentioned this before, but the story was cool. But it's not even necessarily just the content. I think a lot of it's just the performance issues that you have there too. The content on the multiplayer side lacks, but the story was pretty good. But I could not see myself grinding out that game.
Hey, one other thing too. We have Resident Evil that is coming out. Normal date, normal everything. So, Resident Evil, yet again, an old, reliable series.
Yeah, and this one's gonna be sick. Did you download that demo?
Yes, I did.
Did you play a demo?
Yes, I did.
It's great. I will say,
as a big old lady.
Everyone keeps talking about her. Yeah, I am excited. I've played every Resident Evil from 1 to the most recent 7. And believe it or not, I think I've said this before, 7 probably is my favorite. And I know that's really odd because a lot of people are like, well, 7 is the newer one. The gameplay mechanics, the boss fights, the atmosphere, the fear that you truly have when walking around that house. And then the little twist that they have at the end, who's controlling all this, was fantastic, by the way. Obviously, I'm a massive fan. But yeah, I am looking forward to Resident Evil Village, and I do think it's going to be amazing. And I really am. I would love to stream the game and just play through it, because I think it's going to be a fun one to play and also watch.
Yeah.
But absolutely, and one game that has not disappointed me, and it's Resident Evil. And Capcom, if you're listening, we love you. So, thank you for not disappointing me. I'm at my lowest point in my life.
Jeez. Mass Effect, we love you more.
Mass Effect. I'm going to play.
Official fan base of Mass Effect here.
I also am excited, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards the Resident Evil. Mass Effect's fantastic. Like I'm not downplaying it, right? It was the first game to come out. Really one of the first games to come out as a sci-fi RPG, right? And there are other games out there, but no one ever pulled it off right. And Mass Effect had that special, I don't want to say feeling, because if you haven't played it, you wouldn't get it. But it really felt so damn good.
Well, I think previous games were kind of point blank, like you go save the princess, you go do this, you go do that. In Mass Effect, you had to make the little choices in between.
Yeah,
where you're like, hey, well, if I don't do this, it really does hurt me later. Or Mass Effect 2, the whole ending, you can play the game perfect, but the final sequence, the final scene, anything, if you do the wrong choices at the wrong time, your whole platoon can just die.
Yeah.
Which I watched my friend do, which was one of the greatest things to watch. because I was like, "Dang, you suck."
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those games that actually had choices, right? And I think that butterfly effect really showed throughout the
Yeah.
game. And I think that's where Mass Effect 3 failed. Because
Yep.
I do feel like when you did that butterfly effect, it didn't really affect as much.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first two I'm super excited to play. I'll play the third one, but I'm not looking forward as much for the third one. And I'm happy they didn't announce Andromeda, because that would have just been a slap in every fan's face.
Shh. It doesn't exist.
Did you just shush me?
Just doesn't exist. We don't talk about that.
Uh,
Mandela effect. Is there really an Andromeda? I don't know.
I heard about this game. Through the grapevine.
What's weird is that just real quick, we've talked about Xbox games delayed. We've talked about PlayStation games delayed. Games that were going to PC that got delayed. I'm just saying, Nintendo.
Because Nintendo got, what, 3 exclusives?
Pokemon are looking strong right now. Pokemon Snap, baby.
Game of the year, bestseller, Pokemon Snap.
While Joe is playing the horror game of Resident Evil, and I'm going to laugh at him and enjoy his streams, I'm going to be playing Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, I actually am looking forward to that, too. Did I tell you that I had a friend I was talking to, and he got into we got a little, I guess, heated argument, if you will. He's like, "What do? You just take picture Pokemon? That sounds like a blast," being sarcastic. I'm like, it's more than that.
Yeah.
Dude, going through that cart that you used to go through back in the day, I don't know what car or whatever you want to call it, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And taking pictures of Pokemon, getting specific angles, man, and just seeing these things and these majestic creatures and in their natural habitat just felt right.
To get you on a stump.
Yeah.
You had to get the right angles, right cameras, right everything.
Yeah, and there's little challenges. I mean, again, I understand some people's point of view how that can be boring, but hey, I played Sims, okay? A lot of people hated Sims, but I loved Sims. I mean, I'm not going to get too
in depth of it.
Yeah, what I used to do, it's a little gruesome. But Sims was great, okay? For a lot of reasons. I mean, you take the door off the room and you do your thing, if you know what I mean. If you're a Sims fan, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Man, they need a Sims 5. Because
they do.
Sims 4, I own every single expansion and stuff pack. So you're probably, what, like $700 deep in that game when you own all that, especially with how they've been milking it out now. Mm-hmm. But what they need to do is drop a 5 with Sims 2 roots. Sims 2, hands down, is the best in the series.
Sims 2 took it to the next level.
It really did. It really did. It really did. And it wasn't too complex, too complicated. My favorite thing was owning a pet store or electronics store. I did it all the time. Open for business, best expansion pack ever. I know that's way off subject, but hey, EA remake Sims 2 as one game, current graphics, but don't change the mechanics. Bet it will sell. If you steal this idea, because it would be technically stealing my idea, because I know you're not going to do it. I want compensated.
Buy our shirts. Alright, guys. I think this has been a fun, quick one. God might hate us. Yeah, I don't know. Rough year so far. We'll stay with you through it all. Stay tuned. Our next podcast, though, is going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to add real quick. Not only is it going to be a fun one, we also have some new stuff we're working on that we're going to be having drop monthly, a specific series, if you will. So stay tuned for that. And one thing, I know, Dom and I kind of talked about this before starting the podcast today, just addressing it. I know we were gone for some time, and we weren't sure if we were going to bring it up, but Dom, I guess I'm going to do it.
Fire.
Yeah, more or less. Things happen. We're still trying to get in the rhythm of this, and we don't plan on doing that very often. We pump out consistently. Speak for me, Dom. Consistently, and so sometimes we end up not getting much content out. But again, outside of this, we both have lives, jobs, and but we do want to make this a full-time career one day, and That's where we kind of need your support on that. But go ahead, Dom, sign us off.
As always, Nitwits, like, subscribe, comment whatever you want in the comments. You know, me and Joe have responded to almost everyone. I think everyone. I mean, it's like 10 total comments. But hey, we're there for you guys if you need us. It really does brighten our day just to check, see how many people have watched it. Let us know what you wanted to talk about. But as always, Nitwits, have a great one.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.